Welcome everyone to today's Funded Trader interview. I spoke with Mike today, one of our standout funded traders at HyroTrader. He has achieved over 32,000 in payouts. He has started in crypto about 2 years ago, mainly trading meme coins, but the last 3 months have been truly transformative for him. Today, we will talk about how that transition happened, what insights helped him level up, how he manages leverage and risk as funded trader, and what mindset changes support his consistently. So thank you for joining us today, Mike. So how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great as well. It's a few days before Christmas, so
Yeah,
excited.
it's a pretty hectic time of year, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So let's jump to your trading journey. So to understand better your journey, let's go back to the beginning of your trading experience. You have been in crypto for around 2 years, mainly focus on meme coins. So what originally led you to this style of trading, and how has your approach evolved since then?
Yeah, so like you said, I think I got into meme coins just because I think I came into with the mindset that I wanted to make money quickly, right? And I think that's how a lot of people trying to get into the crypto meme coin game go into with that kind of mindset, and I was no different, right? And another thing that was no different is the amount of failures and money that I lost by doing that, because I didn't really know if there was any a rhyme or reason to trading these meme coins, right? Like I just thought people bought them and then held them and then poof, money has been made, right? Which yeah, right. But and it's not that doesn't happen, right? It's not like people don't get lucky or it definitely happens, but it's just sort of rare, right? So I did that for 2 years, like a year of really hardcore trenching. I made money, lost money, and overall I was negative PNL, right? If I look back at my entire sort of meme coin journey, and then I always knew about leverage trading and spot and stuff like that, but I just thought that was sort of boring. I didn't understand it that well. It was too complicated for me, and it just wasn't my thing. I thought meme coins were so cool, but once I started trading on HyroTrader, I thought I might give it a shot. I heard about prop firms before, and I was like, wow, you could actually pay little amounts of money and get and trade with big amounts of money. And I thought that was pretty cool. But I quickly also learned that you can, if you go into this with the same mindset as I did with meme coins, for example, then it's very also easy to lose money by just blowing accounts over and over again, right? So and that's exactly what I did. It was a learning experience. However, this time it was a little bit different. I realized that trading funded accounts on HyroTrader is a whole different ball game than just buying meme coins and holding them and praying, right? You can approach you can approach these types of trading strategies a little bit differently. And that's what I did, and I got really interested in it, and I started doing research, and I just really developed my own strategy when I started doing when I started trading leverage on HyroTrader. And it took me a while. Over the last 3 months, I have been doing trading on HyroTrader, and I developed my own strategy. And in the end, I started making more money than I ever did with trading meme coins. So
That's amazing.
that's how it evolved in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's great. So as you mentioned, those 3 last months were especially transformative for you. So
Yeah.
it sounds like this period really changed the way you look at the markets and execute trades. So what would you say, except payouts and profit, what other major changes have you noticed in the way you read and react to the market?
Yeah, sure. So I before, I remember I was really only focused on the short term charts, for example. I never really looked at the bigger picture or the sentiment of like the general market, right? Like I wasn't taking into consideration if I was trading with the market or against the market, or which time frames am I comparing, and to what's going to match like my strategy. Before my decisions were like pretty emotional because I was still like sort of transferring from like that whole meme coin hype, uh and I learned to, like, every failure I took as a lesson, because I realized that the more I failed, the more I learned, right? And it's like, people, they get really discouraged when they lose money, but it's like I thought about it in a different way. I was like, like, this lesson cost me $1,000, for example, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing, like how when you pay for like school or some kind of course, you want to get better at something, right? It's like you pay money to learn the thing, and like, trading like this is sort of similar. Like, for like, that's how I took it, because it helped me to like stay motivated. Like, this is a lesson that I paid $100 for example, right? And that's sort of what kept me going. And it really taught me how to manage my emotions, by just researching and just sticking to the plan, right?
That's amazing. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
know, like, during that time, you have explored multiple accounts with HyroTrader, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
like different strategies, and basically try to really understand what works best for you. So, have you like pinpoint what were the most like important insight that you gained during that like period of experimentation, except of those like lessons, or maybe what those lessons were?
Yeah, so the biggest lesson is like that I learned, like, and this just kept repeating, and I know I'm not going to be the one to say this, but is to never trade emotionally, like, ever.
Amazing. Yeah.
Before I was like even, and like, even like good traders that are like good and they're professional traders and they make so much money. I've seen like videos, and I've heard of this happening to them. Like, even when they're like on big win streaks, they get super confident, and then they're like, the adrenaline is there and they're super confident, but the market doesn't care, right? The market literally doesn't care about your emotions, if you're happy, sad. And it's all about research and conviction, right? Like, I think if I do the research and then I make my own bias, I make my own conviction, like, that's the only thing that matters to me, right? And of course, like you'll never be right every time. Like, it's impossible to be right all the time. And
Yeah.
this is sort of a reason why stop losses exist. um, and especially like with funded accounts, right? Like, you don't want to blow a funded account in 5 minutes, and because like you just forgot a stop loss. Which, at the beginning, I was so emotional about a trade that I literally forgot stop losses. And then I just got an email from Hyros like, you have failed this account. And I was like, what? Why? Like, why did this happen? And it was like, reason stop loss. And I was like, Jesus. And you know what? Like, this happened to me like 4 to 5 times before I learned like muscle memory. It's like literally about like, like, before you put in a trade, stop loss. Like, it was literally just muscle memory. I had to fail 5 accounts just because of stop loss, until I literally just had it in my brain, be like, before I even entered a trade, or even after I trade, because you have like a little bit of a time frame after you enter a trade, like 1 hour, I think, to enter a stop loss. So I made it part of like my muscle memory, even after I entered a trade, instantly stop loss. And that was the first thing I did, right? So yeah,
That's
definitely the most important things right there
that's
for me.
amazing lessons. Yeah. Yeah, stop loss definitely. Yeah. And even like the losses, as you were like mentioning, because I feel like in trading many people don't realize, since they have those like emotions, they get
Yeah.
win and they feel like excited, then they lose
Yeah.
and they feel like the down like basically down, you just feel sad about it. It's like it's crazy, but usually like the losses are just cause of the business, which is
Yeah,
trading,
exactly.
so it's
Yep.
just like part of it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I remember when we first talked, you said that you still use some gut feeling, but you have more like systematic and reasonable. So how do you balance your intuition with structured decision making today?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like that gut feeling, it's something that like you shouldn't ignore
Mm-hmm.
because like before, like I had the gut feeling like I'm gonna make a 10x off of this, right? And that was it, like nothing else. And maybe I could have, but I didn't have anything to back it up, right? And I think this is like another important thing that I learned. Uh, because I try to balance that like sort of intuition with like structure,
Yeah.
right? So intuition helps you see opportunities, right? And but structure keeps you disciplined, right? And for me, like that balance that I learned was just basically like journaling, like my feelings
Mm-hmm.
and like how I felt that day. If I was angry or sad, or if I was just feeling neutral, then for me that was like a good sign because I could make like a clear decision in my head, like before going into a trade. If all the boxes in my head were checked, then I would be like, okay, let's get into this trade. And that way I know like if I'm acting based on like logic or emotions, right? So I think it's always good to listen to your gut feeling, but at the same time, back it up with some information and then like just make it airtight. Like I'm convinced this is going to happen and just go with it, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. So it's probably like giving you like the high probability setup with that
Yeah.
like mix of perfect like gut feeling plus like the structure and all the like
Yeah.
knowledge that you are editing now. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a really good feeling when you have that gut feeling and then you back it up with a little bit of research and then
Mm-hmm.
you're right and you're correct. You're just like, wow. Like
I'm good.
it's like you're just like it's like you're high, like you're
Yeah.
euphoric, and you're like, wow, I was right. And that's amazing. And I think that's what a part of something that like keeps people coming back to doing this, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's sort of like you're chasing that sort of feeling and you can get it, right? You can get it by just being patient. So
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes I have like feeling that our brain remembers like the charts because like it's used
mm,
to it. So sometimes even I don't know, I just have the feeling that like the gut feeling can be basically like influenced by the brain memory of the charts and you are just like, you are basically
yeah.
like improving kind of your like gut feeling because you don't even realize that like, oh, maybe I saw some similar pattern or something like that and you just like feel real excited about it. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, the brain sometimes work crazy, and based on like mixing those two stuff, it's like amazing.
Yeah, I remember I read a book
Mm-hmm.
called Atomic Habits.
Yeah,
It's a pretty popular book,
it is.
and and I read it because I sort of wanted to like improve like my own life outside of like trading and crypto and stuff like that. And I remember there was one thing in that book that the author talked about. That it was like just try to be 1% better every day, right? Like 1% better every day over a period of time. Eventually like you'll reach that like that threshold where you just start winning, whenever in whatever it is in life, if it's like trading or he didn't use a trading example, but like I'm sort of using that in my life, right? And it's sort of like how you said, it's like when you keep looking at charts, like you keep seeing the same things over and over again and like the same patterns over. Like if you look at a million charts over the course of a year, like you're going to have like this muscle memory in your brain, like knowing like I've seen this played out like 20 times before, right? And out of those 20 times, 18 of those times played out exactly how I thought it would, right? So 1% better every single day. Eventually, you'll be 100 times better at the end of the year, right?
100%.
Um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's amazing. Like I watched like masterclass from F1 driver Hamilton, and he
yeah,
was saying the same thing. Like I was
yeah,
not, trying to do like 20% every day. He was like
yeah.
1%, and
1%. Yeah.
yeah, that was it.
And like just one more thing I wanted to say about that. It's like a lot of people like they think like, oh, 1%, like that's nothing, right? And some people get discouraged because they don't see like like the progress,
Yeah.
right? They don't see any changes because it's 1%. Like, what is 1%? It's nothing, right? Like, will you see 1% changes by like every day, like over a month? Like, yeah, maybe like a little bit. Like, you'll maybe change like your strategy or something. Like, something will change. I don't know. But if you just keep going, eventually you're gonna fly. You're gonna fly that. You're gonna moon. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
100%.
the most important thing is just to keep going.
Yeah.
Never give up.
Yeah, sometimes people are just missing the discipline, and
Yeah.
since they're not seeing the results, they often don't even stick with it
Yes.
for one
Yes.
month. So I feel
Yes.
like that's even,
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's amazing. So I know that earlier you traded mostly without leverage, meme coins,
Yeah.
basically.
Yes.
So how
Yes.
do you think, like, trading on a challenges? So how has your, leverage usage changed when trading with HyroTrader? And what, controls do you use to manage risk at the moment? Stop loss?
Yeah, definitely stop loss. But also like when I came into trading on leverage, like again, like I sort of came in with the same meme coin degen mindset,
Yeah.
right? And I was trying to pass like evaluation very quickly. So I was just literally just being reckless. I was opening multiple 10x trades, 3 trades at the same time, at 10x, 3% of the entire risk, and like just because I was trying to pass the evaluations fast. And to be honest, it worked, but sometimes like out of 10 times that I did that, it worked 3 of the times. So I eventually realized that that was a terrible success rate, and that was not like the way to do it.
Yeah.
Because it honestly played like a big role on like my mental health too, right? Like it really brings you down. Like after you're so confident in doing something, you're like really bullish, like you want, like you're just gonna, I'm super positive, I'm gonna do 3 trades, 10x leverage, and I'm gonna close my monitor and I'm gonna wake up the next morning, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Boom, right? It's gonna moon. And then you wake up the next morning, your account failed, you're out of I don't know, $300, and you're just like, damn, well, that wasn't a good, right?
So for the, funding and payouts, I would love to go to your past payouts, because I know, like previously you were mentioning your progress from, first month when funding till like, your last payout. Basically it was like, going really up. So
Kept going, yeah.
how has being a funded trader changed your mindset regarding like consistency and discipline?
Yeah, so I think one of the major things that changed my consistency and discipline was, and it's very simple. Just don't trade against the market. Like literally don't trade against the market. Like you go on coin like for the day, like this is like part of my daily routine. Whenever I know I'm gonna put in some trades, my daily routine is this. I just like check coin market cap, and I'm seeing what the sentiment is. I go on X, I'm seeing what people are talking about. And then like based off of like this information, like trading view posts, like what people are thinking, what's the sentiment for Bitcoin, because it's like, however Bitcoin is literally affects the entire crypto market. Everything else, like
Yes.
if Bitcoin is down, everything is down, right? If Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. Like that's basically how it is. And that's really what I judge my mindset on for the day. Am I going to go short because we're in max fear, or am I going to go long because we're getting greedy, right? So that's really like the only like major thing that really helped me change my mindset, was also becoming like just more patient and trusting my strategy. And like some of my biggest wins happened when Bitcoin dropped from like 125K to where we are now. Everyone was like, and man, it's gonna go back up. It's gonna go back up. But what I did in this case, well, I was like, listen, I'm gonna look at the chart. I'm gonna zoom out. And then I'm gonna see how Bitcoin has been behaving for the last couple of years. And I saw a similar pattern that has been repeating over and over again. So I was like, I know where this is going. It's already down like 5%. we're going short. And I made $25,000 from Bitcoin going from around 110K all the way down to like 80 just by putting in shorts because I was confident. I was confident. Everyone was saying, like, I could have listened to the market. I could have listened to the market and just by looking at X and looking at people being bullish, putting in longs. And I was like, no, I created my own bias off of my own research. And I knew that Bitcoin was just going to go down. So that's where I capitalized on that, right? I just stayed focused, shorted,
That's
and I made a
amazing.
bunch of money. So that was cool.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I mean, like, Bitcoin cycle is real, so just like,
Yes.
yeah, definitely much better, like, influence watching the chart, zooming out than, like,
Yeah.
listening what people say on
For
X.
sure. For sure. And like sometimes people people on social media, the engagement farmers or whatever, like they're not really like, giving good insights, right? Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of good accounts on X for sure. A lot of
Agree.
good traders on X. And that's up to you to make that decision on who to follow. But at the end of the day, you have to trust yourself because no one else is going to help you with that, right? So do your own research and yeah, you can do it.
That's amazing. Okay. So I would now like to, close it with like two last questions. So something, what do you plan to focus in future? So maybe like what is one aspect of your trading that you are actively trying to refine right now? Something improving.
Sure. Yeah, so I know that like indicators, for example, like I know a lot of traders that use indicators and like I also use some indicators and I use like basically like the mainstream ones. I mean like the RSI MACD, like RSI really is my main one and I think a lot of people use it, but I know that there's a lot of indicators that can help guide you towards making decisions and first and foremost, like I want to like make sure that I want to add this into my strategy to strengthen my biases that I have before making a trade. Of course, going through the check boxes that I have in my head, going through the market sentiment like that, and just using indicators as part of my tool set to move on and make a trade, right?
Yeah, make better decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. So, if you had to give one piece of advice to a new trader who wants to, reach basically the funded level that you have achieved, what would you tell them? And, basically like how to scale even the payouts to the level that you did in 3 months?
Yeah, so I would say this, that your mind is your biggest enemy at the beginning. You need to learn emotional control and rational thinking inside of a market that doesn't care about how you feel. Once you control your emotions and build a strategy that you trust, then trading becomes mechanical. And that's what it should be. Don't take losses as failures because they are part of the journey. You treat one as information, and again, not as a failure. And that's the only way you'll make it out of the matrix. So don't quit.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So that was my
Yeah.
last question.
Very nice.
Amazing.
That was a great question.
Thank you.